Everybody. This is Steph the Educator, and I am here with Essential Pedagogy, and I am so excited today. So excited. Half of the excitement is because I have a friend with me who is willing to talk about education with me. Another part is I'm just happy to be alive. I'm so thankful. Last week was Thanksgiving, and I just have a lot to be thankful for. I'm thankful because my plan is to retire from teaching before I die. Before I die is when I plan on retiring, and well before I die, not a year. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna double back and tell you about the story that's making me so grateful. But before we go into our show, I want to talk to you and let you know about what essential pedagogy means. It came about when I decided to kind of step away from education and do some other things to provide for myself because I was feeling super stressed over education and personal. Like you can't really have a lot of personal things going on when you're an educator because it's just so public. Everybody's in your face. Children are in your face, and they don't care whether you're having a bad day, you're going through a divorce, going through a breakup, mourning a parent passing, or anything. They just want the attention. They want the pencil. They want their parents want. So it was quite stressful. So I stepped away and I had time to think. And I was shocked to know that education was essential because I didn't feel like I was valued and that educators were essential. But I soon found out we are very much essential in this country and other countries. And everybody needs us, especially the way this country is structured. Uh, Pedagogy means the study of and the practice of teaching. So a lot of people don't know what pedagogy means, but educators. And the reason why I chose that is because I wanted to trademark the name, and Essential Educator was taken. So I was lucky that Essential Pedagogy was not taken. My hope is that as a result of you guys listening to this podcast, people within the profession and all others outside of the profession grow in compassion for one another by getting an inside view of the complex structure of the American education system. So without further ado, I want to talk to you and introduce to you Lamisha Wilson. She's a good, fast friend of mine. I met her this year, and I think she's just so awesome. I was immediately attracted to her spirit and just her pivoting abilities and not letting them see her sweat. So, Lamisha, tell us about yourself and how long you've been in education.
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. And I am glad that we have become fast friends as well. Um, I am currently the behavior specialist and special ed department chair on our campus. This is my 20th year in education, and I've always been a special educator or speducator, as I like to say. That's my superpower. That's what I do all day, every day.
You are the person to do that.
Yeah, it's a struggle, but we do what we have to do.
So talk to me more about your journey in education and some of the twists and turns, actually just in your career, period. I think you have a fascinating story.
Okay. Well, I always, growing up, I wanted to be either an attorney or a teacher. That was it for me. I got my undergrad in government legal studies. And then I was like, I don't think I really want to do this. I don't feel comfortable, siding with criminals. I don't want to defend them, and I want to do something that makes me feel fulfilled, uh, and something I would be proud to do and to tell people that I do. So I went back to school, and I got my master's in special education, and I got my teacher cert at the same time. It was quite rigorous, but I did it. And while I was going through that program, I wound up with my first teaching job, and that was at an alternative school in Sanger, Texas. And if anybody's familiar with like the behavior unit on your campus or campuses in your district, it's it was basically that, but a K through 12. It was a whole campus dedicated to those students with behavior issues. So I taught middle and high school English and social studies there for 2 years. And then for the other 2 years, I got experience with the elementary students. And during year 4, I was praying. I was like, Lord, you got to do something else. It's time for me to go. I can't. This is enough. I've had my fill of this. Uh, Please move me. So he did, and I landed in Denton ISD, and I was fortunate enough to be uh, on the high school campus where my oldest daughter was. So I did inclusion.
Mm.
I was a co-teacher, inclusion teacher, and I also taught basic IPC. Miss Powell, don't tell anybody I taught science because I will deny it. I tried, but
Oh,
I did that. I did that for a minute, and I stayed here in Denton ISD for 11 years,
mhm.
and then I took my current position in the district that we're in. So um, finally got out of the classroom after all those years, which I was ready to do.
Mm.
Um, and while I was at the first high school, I went back to school, got a second master's in ed admin, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I did not take the certification exam to just have that in my back pocket because I'm still raising my kids. And I was like, once I got to the internship, I was like, I don't want to do this. This is too much. And with, the politics and things involved, I would be like, I'm really not sure I want to do that. So I waited, but now I feel like I'm ready to move into admin. My youngest will graduate this school year. So yeah, that's kind of how I got here.
Wow, that's a beautiful story. Um,
Thank you.
I want to know, since you have an admin background, you know, uh, you probably have a different perspective about money and education and within the schools, managing budgets and things like that, and also, just your personal budgeting. But
Mhm.
so, talk to me about where you might want to see something different happen in schools as far as money and how it's allocated and things like that.
Mhm. Well, I think the first thing I would like to see is an increase in teacher salaries. Now, I do realize that these days, most districts are starting teachers out, you know, at a more comfortable
Mhm.
salary for a first year teacher or whatever. It's probably pretty comfortable for them, much more than when we started. Um, I think my first job, it was like $35,000 or something like that.
Mhm.
Small rural district, so they weren't paying anything.
Mhm.
So uh raising kids and stuff, I mean, it's a struggle to do. But I that's the first thing I would like to see. I think for the most part, admin and upper admin are able to be a little bit more comfortable than campus staff
Mhm.
and teachers. although, at the end of the day, they probably don't get, most of them probably don't get paid enough either.
Uh-huh.
Uh, APs and principals. But yeah, kind of increased salaries, especially in today's climate where it's just so much more difficult to enter the profession for the right reasons and then remain in the profession. It's very difficult, and I feel like districts aren't making it attractive enough for people to come and for people to stay.
Mhm.
Um, and it takes us a long time to get to where we may feel semi comfortable with
Mm.
those, the 3% raise here, you maybe get a little bonus over there. So I would like to see them take more funds and really make sure that salaries are as competitive as they possibly can be. I
Mhm.
think for the most part, districts take care of their students' needs, campus needs, and different things like that with the funds that they're allotted.
Mhm.
Um, Surely there are always, supplies needed and different things like that, but we need to take care of our teachers first. That's the main thing.
Well, we're seeing the fallback of, not
Mhm,
having enough teachers,
mhm,
not having enough substitutes,
mhm,
things like that.
mhm.
What do you think teachers want besides money? What do you think they want besides money?
Probably something that I've been saying for at least the last 2 years, a little bit more grace, um, a little bit more understanding, and definitely support. I feel like teachers probably want more support from admin, because I know sometimes it doesn't feel like there is enough support, or some teachers may feel like there's no support at all. Um, and I feel like there's more support needed from upper admin, um, superintendent down,
Mhm.
and even support from the parents of the students that they you know try to teach all day every day, but support and just some compassion and empathy, and
Mm.
teachers probably want to feel like they're needed and like they're important.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, lately I've been feeling like we need a secretary. Like every department at our school needs
Mm,
a personal secretary that is, hey, I need you to do this. Hey, I need you that. Because when our plates get filled with all the admin things,
mhm, mhm,
we can't get to the core nature of teaching,
mhm,
filling out paperwork, which there's some things that only we can do because we're the teacher of record,
mhm,
but making copies, um, you know, running this here and there, finding out where this person is when they left the instrument in our class, hunting down something we need for something else, uh,
mhm,
making sure we have all the supplies we need for whatever
mhm,
project we're doing. I
mhm,
don't want to have to put in an order form for all this stuff, manage all this stuff, get in touch with however many parents I need to get in touch with because they happen to have something that they feel is the most important thing to them at the time when I have so many children to manage. Any
mhm,
other profession that have 150 people that they manage, they got some kind of assistance.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I want to do the difficult work that I was trained to do, but I feel like when I have to sit in front of my computer and look at emails and figure out on the spot what to say to each email that could be 50 parents, 30
Mhm,
parents, 10 on any given day.
Mhm.
is daunting.
Mhm.
And not only that, it, following up, because you know there's protocol when someone misbehaves in your class. We have protocol about what needs to be done in step increments, which part of it is calling a parent. Well, what if you have kids going berserk? A lot of them going berserk because it's almost a holiday and they don't want to go home.
Mhm.
But we still have curriculum to cover. We still have a test to do. We still have all these things. We still have to grade. We still have to give feedback. We still have to. It has become a monster of a responsibility. And I feel like one thing that we could have, probably in lieu of giving everybody a raise, is just like, look, let's hire 4 people in here: math, social studies, science, language arts. Y'all got your own department secretary, and
Mhm.
you know, she filters this, that, and the other, and then give you the things that only you can take care of. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
I feel like that would be very helpful. I wanted that today. I wanted a secretary today. I really did. I want-
Let me tell you something. I want one too. I need one,
Mhm,
especially wearing two different hats, really, and department being short staffed.
mhm.
It's a lot, and yes, every department does need an assistant. Just somebody. I mean, I think people kind of underestimate that and like the value of that, the helpfulness of that, just to have somebody who can field those emails, field those phone calls, um, deal with minor issues while you're dealing with the major issues. That would really really go a long way, because I think most of us spend a great part of our time dealing with nonsense, dealing with things that are minute, dealing with things that should have been nipped in the bud, that we shouldn't still be dealing with on the whatever day of school this was, since day one. There are so many things that take up so much of our time, take up, teaching time, learning time, uh, PLC time, all of that stuff. And if we just had somebody who could help with just these little things over here, or even if a kid needs to go sit somewhere, sometimes, like, if
We don't have
nobody is
anywhere to send them. We don't have anybody to send them to.
exactly, then
Yeah.
no one send them to. Exactly. Because you got your BRS running around, you got your APs running around, you got your principal. And let's not talk about all of the meetings that everybody has to go to, which takes a whole set of people out of the building at the same time, which just doesn't make sense.
Yesterday.
Yes, it did. I know.
Substitutes. We didn't have enough substitutes. Yeah. Oh,
No. Yeah. So yes, a department secretary for every department would be amazing.
it would be
Would
amazing.
be
And
amazing.
I feel like it wouldn't be as costly as giving
Mhm.
everybody $5,000 raise who teach. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying. And I think it would
Mhm.
alleviate a little stress, a little
Mhm.
pressure. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Use the
Yes.
restroom. Let's see if the secretary is available.
Oh,
I mean,
seriously. Yes.
we
Yes,
love
ma'am.
if they had a break. You
Mhm.
know, I just sat back and was thinking about things. Uh, and as we know, time is money.
Mhm.
We don't have
Yes.
time,
We don't. We don't
and
have
when
time.
things eat up our time, they essentially eat up our money.
Certainly. Yes, ma'am.
Because if we don't have time to respond to emails appropriately during the day, if we don't have time to think through problems,
Mhm.
sometimes we have to take a beat. But
Yeah.
our profession doesn't always give us grace to do that, and then we get bad mouth over that
Mhm.
situation.
Yes.
Um, I had a viewer question about student safety, and that has been in the news here lately about
Hmm.
violence in the schools and security and things like that. We've beefed that up, but not without the something on the teacher. you know,
That was my face, my
yeah,
face.
yes, yes, yes. So you talk to me about that, and I'll like chime in with what I see.
Man, make sure you lock the door. Door needs to remain locked at all times. No, you can't have a magnet in your door so that somebody doesn't have to get up and go open the door when you student who just went to the restroom for the 10th time comes back. You can't leave the magnet there so that they can just flip it back in when they come in. And it's again, that's taking away from you educating students because there's so many. Make sure the student is wearing his or her ID. If they don't have an ID, you got better give them that sticker. You give we're putting these stickers in your box so that you can first period. If you notice the student when you have to do the ID check and they don't have an ID, you can give them this temporary ID for the day, and they wear this sticker. And well, if they lose their sticker in the middle of the day, somebody got to give them another
And
sticker.
look, the first period teacher gave him a sticker. But look, I feel like that sticker thing was a part time job. So
I'm trying to tell you,
the first period teacher, I'm giving out 5 stickers. Here comes second period, third period, fourth period. I got 3 stickers because they lost their sticker. They keep sticking
yes,
it.
you handed out stickers all day.
But with security, a lot of people don't understand how that is connected to security, right? Like we
Right.
we have some children that kind of look like an adult.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
And
bigger than us. They bigger than us.
bigger than us. Have a student. I don't have this student, but he's next door to me. He's next door in a classroom next door to me. He's new to our school. He did not, and he still does not wear his ID, but I just don't bother him anymore. But I was like, sir, like, I didn't know he could have been 20.
Okay.
Walking around in our building, sir.
Hmm.
Do you have your ID? What
Hmm.
class do you belong to? I've never seen this
Yeah.
child before in my
Hmm.
life, but he's tall, new child.
Hmm.
You know, and so I was kind of like, okay, what do I do in this situation? You can't be too confrontational. So I was like, look, sir, if you have it in your backpack, I'm gonna need you to take it out your backpack and put it on. Um, we need to identify who's our students and who isn't our student in an emergency. If something was to go down, if they get separated from the teacher that they're with, that's the reason why IDs are important. And so we feel like that maybe these are just minor issues, but these are big issues that people say they are important, but when we have to execute them on the foundational level, then they want to call it frivolous. Do you see what I'm saying? We kind of
Right. Hmm.
kind of you know uh wear the dunce hat over that. But I mean, when it comes to people being in the building and we don't know who they are, it can become a dangerous thing. And so that's one of the things that we have to do. um it takes up a lot of time. It just does.
It does take up a lot of time, but I hopefully parents can be reassured that we are doing everything that we possibly can, everything in our power, to make sure that their children are safe while they're with us. And we also have to you know be reassured that our security officer and our SRO are doing things to keep us all
Safe.
uh safe while we're on campus. So yeah, it may be frivolous and we joke about it, but we're going to keep checking those IDs, we're going to keep giving out those stickers,
Yeah.
and we're going to keep making people use the intercom and scan IDs at the door, because the very time we don't is the time that something will happen,
Yes.
and it'll be on us. So
So everything will come down to either time or money, right? I remember when I was like, oh, we got to keep this door locked all the time, Lord Jesus. I'm having a crook in my back because I got to bend down to get that key in. So I had to buy a little stretchy thing, a retractable thing for my key to put into the door every time I have to unlock, lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock. Now I do it one twist of the wrist and back, and I'm do it real fast. But I feel like we take brain power to figure out the easiest way to get our job done without hurting our backs, the easiest way to get IDs out to kids. We think of processes. And I feel like it takes
Yes.
away from us being the best teacher we could be
Mm-hmm.
because we use so much of our brain space trying to figure out all these little minor little details to make our jobs easier. Um, with that being said, I want to just talk to you about some of the things that was on my mind. I'm really working hard that I take care of me and
Yes.
and and having boundaries with my
Yes.
time. Something I didn't do early in my career.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that was a first lady in church who was also a teacher, and she retired, and the next year she died of cancer. I want to live to enjoy my retirement a little
Yeah.
bit. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I don't want to work my fingers to the bone till I'm sick, till I develop cancer, till I ignore my body to where
Yeah.
I, hold, um, and I'm a science teacher, hold my urine, and make that a habit to the point where I forget to use the restroom on the weekends when I'm just
Mm-hmm.
at home, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
and it ruins my body to the point where I can't be a whole person for my family and friends
Mm-hmm.
um, later on in life. And so I just want that perspective to kind of go out
Mm-hmm.
into the world in the space
For
to so
sure.
that people understand, we need to be gentle. We need to be compassionate to our educators and
Mm-hmm.
patient. We're just human. People forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there
That's true.
anything that you think we need in the
Excuse
world that you wish you could see change besides teacher salaries, which I don't think is going to happen
me.
dramatically? I feel like we need at least a $5,000 to $10,000 increase. But hey, that's
Certainly.
but is there anything else do you feel like education needs more? It could be anything. Just as last word.
Mm, I think I'll just have to kind of piggyback on what you just said about self care. What education needs is, um, excuse me, more mentally sound professionals, um, more educators who take that time for self care and know how important that self care is, and can kind of also um, teach that to students, because they need to see us taking care of ourselves. And I think about my own children. My youngest is a senior in high school, and last year I I granted her one mental health day per month, because it's hard out there in those high school streets these days. It was not like that back in the day. It is difficult. And I justify that by saying, if I can't teach my kids self care and to take care of themselves, then there's something that I'm not doing right. Because at 48, I'm just now learning, girl, if you don't feel like going, don't go. If you don't feel like doing, don't do. you're given those 10 days per year for a reason. Use them and use them wisely. Use them the way you want to use them. And don't wait until you're sick. If I drop dead tonight, somebody gonna replace me tomorrow or whenever. I mean, it might take them a little while because don't nobody want to do my job. But I'm replaceable. We are all replaceable. And that's one thing that we need to remember. We can only do what we can do. Mm-hmm. And that's it. We need to take care of our mental health. And I feel like if we do that, everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, mental health. I'm going to write that down because I think that's something that we need to talk about as a topic as a whole for a whole show.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Lamisha. I'm not going to take any more of your
Yes.
time. I know the end of the semester is drawing near and we all have lots of things to do. Yeah. So I really appreciate you coming on the show. And I wish you well, friend.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
Well,
it's been a blast.
Thank you guys for joining us. And we'll see you next time on The Essential Educator. Or no, Pedagogy.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.